Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolved. Now, earlier last week we talked about Mega Pachirisu, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Meowstic. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week I will be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or I want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your opinions in the comments section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, I will be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Meowstic. Now, before I actually get into this video, there's a couple of things I actually wanted to address, and mainly the point of what I wanted to talk about before anything is pretty much the picture that I'm using. I know the picture that I'm using for a Mega Meowstic isn't all that great. I mean, I don't have like Photoshop or anything like that, and this was pretty much one of the only Mega pictures I could find of a Mega Meowstic, and this is the only one that kind of worked with my photo editing software that I use, because like I said, I don't have Photoshop. So once again, I do apologize if this isn't like how you expect Mega Meowstic to look like. I hope it doesn't lower your expectations on a Mega Meowstic, but once again, that's what I really wanted to tell you guys about it. But anyways, Meowstic for me is a very underrated Pokemon. I mean, this thing, I wouldn't say a very underrated Pokemon, but it is underrated to an extent, okay? Because when it comes to VGC, and don't quote me on what year, but I believe it was 2013 or 2014, one of the two, Meowstic was actually very overused in VGC, because it does get the male Meowstic does get access to Prankster, and there is a lot of moves that this thing can actually gets access to pretty much help you when it comes to competitive play like that, like Charm, set up the screens, Safeguard, Thunder Wave, Toxic, like all those moves that are very viable to help you in VGC. Pretty much went on Meowstic, because Meowstic did get Prankster, and it was one of the only few Pokemon that get access to Prankster that you would normally use, other than like Thundurus, or yeah, regular Thundurus, yeah. Is it regular Thundurus? Yeah, regular Thundurus, Liepard, and Mega Sableye. But I don't think Mega Sableye was legal in 2013, because I think that's when X and Y came out. But once again, it's very viable, okay? It's very underrated, and that's just for the male one. Now, when it comes to the female Meowstic, now quote, or I wouldn't say quote, but note, both Meowstics have the same base stats. The only thing that's different is their design and also their ability, because the female Meowstic, for its hidden ability, gets access to competitive. So pretty much like the male Meowstic is like the bulky support one, and then the female one is like the offensive one. So either way, like they both have their own perks in their own way for both male and female, but once again, they both have the exact same base stats. So when I talk about the stats that I've done to Mega Meowstic, is also going to be included with the female one. But once again, as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything, because honestly, everything needed to get increased except for its physical attack. Now, I mean, come on, let's be honest. With base 48 physical attack, even if I do increase it, it's still going to be complete trash. I mean, there's really no reason for me to actually increase it in instance nor decrease it, because all of its other stats besides its physical attack are somewhat balanced for the most part, okay? So it's not like I have to decrease another stat to increase another stat, that makes sense. So I just left its physical attack alone, and like I said, this thing is not going to be a physical attacker whatsoever. Now, for its special attack, I increased it from base 80 to base 103. Now, even though base 103 isn't all that much, so to speak, you got to think, this thing does get access to Calm Mind, and if you're going to be using the male Meowstic, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like setup moves like Calm Mind, Nasty Plot, Swords Dance does get affected by the Prankster ability. So you can pretty much just set up a Calm Mind, already have a +1 in both special attack and special defense, which is pretty much going to help you out in the long run. Because then if you're going up against a special attacker, for instance like a Mega Blastoise or a Charizard Y, like you will have a +1 in special defense and also in special attack, and it can actually, like I said, help you out in the long run, because this thing does get access to like charge beam. Oh wow, it's a level up move. I did not know it got that as a level up move, but once again, it gets access to charge beam, it gets access to thunderbolt. I mean, this thing like does get access to quite a few moves that are actually very viable when it comes to competitive play. I mean, for heck, this thing even gets dark pulse, which is actually very surprising for me, because I honestly never knew this thing got access to dark pulse. But once again, base 103 for its special attack isn't all half bad. This thing can actually be put in the work, so to speak. But anyways, for its physical defense, I increased it from base 76 to base 106. Now, I wouldn't say increased it the most, but it is technically, like, besides its speed, like its highest stat, because when it came to like VGC and competitive play, or should I say with the Pokemon rules and all that, most of the time people run the Bold Nature set with max HP, max physical defense, and 4, I believe, in like special defense or speed or something like that, with the Bold Nature. So it was made to be a bulky wall. And for the most part, it worked. And even for a base 76 defensive stat for a Meowstic, I think that's actually saying something. I mean, I don't know if it actually is bulky enough to the point where, like, if without the intimidate on your opponent, if it will help. But like I said, base 76 is actually, like, it's a little low for me to say it's actually a very bulky Pokemon, but it actually did put in the work. So I wanted to increase it to base 106 to make this thing a lot more bulkier. That way, this thing will be a little bit more viable when it comes to a support Pokemon. And not to mention, this is going to be a support Mega, kind of like in sense like a Mega Audino, but let's be honest, no one's going to use a Mega Audino. Like, I'm glad they made it Mega Audino, but like I said, I mean, who's going to use it? Pretty much, if Mega Meowstic actually happens, it's probably going to be like the new Mega Audino, so to speak. But once again, base 106 is actually not half bad. I honestly think this is going to be one of the bulkier setup Pokemon, if that makes sense. And for its special defense, I increased it from base 81 to base 101. Its special defense is actually pretty decent. Increasing it to base 101, like I said, will help because this thing does get access to Calm Mind. And with the Prankster ability from the male, this thing will be able to actually get up a Calm Mind, I would say, first turn if you outspeed like an opponent who has another Prankster Pokemon besides Meowstic and they outspeed you. Other than that, you will be able to get a +1 in special attack and special defense. So base 101 is actually very decent for a Pokemon like Meowstic to take like some special hits. And for its speed, I increased it from base 104 to base 124. Now, to be completely honest, I didn't really want to increase its speed all that much, but I would say 20 points isn't all that much in a sense, because with base 104 speed, and if you actually use this thing in competitive play when it came to like VGC 2013, 2014, I would think 2015 as well. I don't think you saw like a lot of Thunderuses, because I don't even think it was legal until 2014, 2015. But this thing did do well for what it was worth back then, before Thundurus is actually legal. But I wanted to increase it to base 121 because if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the fastest prankster Pokemon we have, like with the Mega Evolution like this. Besides, like, wow, what's the Pokemon's name? It's that cat Pokemon from 5th Gen. Purloin. I can't remember its evolution. Wow. Okay. Well, you understand, like, it's like the fastest prankster Pokemon in sense when it comes to its speed for this Mega Evolution, if this actually does happen. So I think base 124 is actually going to be pretty decent for like a prankster male. And as a regular Meowstic, its base stats at 466, and with the Mega Evolution, it's going to be at 566. Now, for the abilities, I honestly actually gave 2 abilities to this Pokemon, considering that both male and both female are pretty much, like I said, have the exact same base stats, but their abilities are different depending on which Genji you are. But for now, for the male Meowstic, I decided to leave it alone as Prankster. It was actually like the best ability in my eyes for the male Meowstic. It worked really well in competitive play. I still think it really does work in the tier that it's in. Getting access to like Thunder Wave, getting speed control with that, getting access to Calm Mind, setting up really fast with that thing. So I think Prankster is a very good ability for a Mega Meowstic. And for the female, instead of giving this thing either competitive or infiltrator, I decided to give this thing Magic Bounce, just because for one thing it is a psychic type, and two, I always like when I look at the female Meowstic, it looks like it should get Magic Bounce. So I mean that, like, Magic Bounce would be a good ability for the female, because in that way, when you try to set up, or when you're pretty much trying to set up with either like Calm Mind or trying to inflict status onto your opponent or something like that, they can't taunt you at all whatsoever, because the taunt will get bounced back. Plus with like rocks and like entry hazards and all that, it will get bounced back. So in a sense, I feel like the female Meowstic should get Magic Bounce, and that's what I decided to give it. And for its typing, I left it alone as Psychic. Now I was thinking about adding on like probably the Fairy type for the female, and then like the Dark type for the male, but I decided to not do that, just leave them both as just Psychic, considering that they don't get access to any really good Fairy type moves. Now I'm not saying that they don't get access to any, I mean they do get Disalarming Voice, but who's going to use that? It gets access to Charm, but that's not an offensive move. It gets access to Misty Terrain, but that's just like a kind of like Sunny Day and all that, so it really isn't really worth it. And it doesn't get access to Dazzling Gleam, which at first I thought this thing did, but apparently it doesn't. So hopefully that we do get like a Mega Meowstic. It'll probably make, and hoping Game Freak or Pokemon makes the female one part Fairy, and then give it like Moonblast and like Dazzling Gleams as moves that it could probably learn leveling up or something like that, or let it just get access to the TM Dazzling Gleam. And for the male, it does get access to Dark Pulse, so it does have some moves to pretty much correspond with being part dark. I mean, besides having Dark Pulse, it does have Snatch, but that really isn't a good move to have. But yeah, looking at its moveset, the only move that can actually benefit from its being part dark is Dark Pulse, but I still think Dark Pulse is probably like the best special attacking dark move, if that makes sense. So if that actually happens, that'd be good, but for now I'm just gonna leave it as part Psychic, so because I don't want to hear any like complaining in the comments saying, oh, you gave it a typing that it doesn't have moves for that typing. So like I said, just leave it alone as Psychic. But with all that said, there is Mega Meowstic. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now the next Pokemon we are going to be doing is a Pokemon from 3rd Gen that honestly I thought was going to be getting a Mega Evolution when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, or is going to be coming out, or should I say it was on my like top 5 Pokemon list that I was hoping Pokemon from 3rd Gen were going to get a Mega Evolution for, and that Pokemon is Exploud. So yes, I think later this week on Friday, yes, on Friday we are going to be talking about Mega Exploud. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.